We have a massive report on what the Dodgers might do in the next few hours. The trade deadline is just getting closer and closer and closer, 6 p.m. Eastern today, and we have a pretty big report on what could happen. So, make sure to subscribe to the Dodgers channel. We got 97% of you out there that have not yet subscribed. We want to make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the big stories that me, myself, Mike Nelson, or Brad J are breaking down for you. But let's get right into it. The Dodgers are interested in Jack Flaherty. That's right, Jack Flaherty from the Detroit Tigers. We just got a report from Jon Heyman, who just reported right now that he's hearing that the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Red Sox are all interested in Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty is one of those elite pitchers that everybody has been all out and trying to get. And yesterday, we got some big news when Jack Flaherty didn't play in his start against the Cleveland Guardians. Yesterday, the Tigers decided to scratch Jack Flaherty from his scheduled start against the Cleveland Guardians at Comerica Park last night. And that kind of started sparking the notion that the Tigers are going to move on from Jack Flaherty. They did not even want to start him in one of his scheduled starts against the White Sox last night. That just started sparking not the White Sox, the Guardians. That started, sparking interest that it looks like Jack Flaherty is going to get traded. So the Tigers decided to do that, and that's when everything just started coming out in the last few hours. And now we got a report that involves our Dodgers. Jon Heyman is reporting that the Dodgers are interested. They're one of the 3 teams that are interested in grabbing Jack Flaherty. And they got some pretty, stiff competition. You got the Yankees and the Red Sox. As we know, the Yankees are also trying to build up a World Series contending team, as we know. And the Red Sox, they've been making some deals, getting James Paxton from the Dodgers, getting Yohan Ramirez from the Dodgers as well. So they're obviously trying to stack up on their pitching as the Red Sox think they have a roster to potentially go deep in the playoffs. It's kind of crazy to say because the team is still out of the playoffs, kind of battling to get in, but they're all in trying to buy at this deadline, and they're trying to get Jack Flaherty as well. So what does Jack Flaherty bring to the table? I think that's what everybody is wondering. And well, in his last 5 games, Jack Flaherty has been pretty good outside of a start against the Angels where he gave up 5 runs in a 5-0 loss. But outside of that start, he's looked pretty good, even giving up no runs against the Guardians in his last start. And then before that, only giving up 2 runs against the Blue Jays. Had it start against the White Sox back in June where he had 8 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. So it's been a pretty solid June and July for Jack Flaherty. I think that definitely drove his trade value up as the Tigers, as we know, are just starting to really fall out of playoff contention. They are trying to sell as much assets as they can. They're at a point right now where they're not going to make the playoffs. As we know, A.J. Hinch has I believe, already confirmed that the team is trying to make some deals. He said he's not making the deals, but he understands the situation. Looking at Jack Flaherty's career, I think most people most well remember him from his days with the St. Louis Cardinals, right? Played with the St. Louis Cardinals between 2017 and 2023. He had some pretty big years, including one year he went 11-8, started 33 games. Has been a solid pitcher for sure. Winning record basically every year outside of the 2018 season. And then last year spent time with the Baltimore Orioles after he was traded away from the Cardinals. And then this year signed with the Tigers. Now, his contract is expiring very soon as well. So that's something that I think teams are kind of interested. And also one more thing, as the next slide just popped up, the guy's from LA. He's from Burbank, California. He is a Dodger. Hopefully he was a Dodger fan growing up, Jack Flaherty. But he is from Burbank. He grew up in LA. So that's another thing too as well. So the question is now, should the Dodgers make the trade? Well, knowing he is from LA, knowing he went to Harvard-Westlake High School as well, he's a Harvard-Westlake product. I think the Dodgers should definitely try to be aggressive in grabbing Jack Flaherty. with the recent news of Garrett Crochet potentially not pitching in the playoffs for the team that trades for him because he wants a contract extension, I think that's really putting a halt on the Dodgers' pursuit of Garrett Crochet. They still might try to grab him, but knowing that he might not pitch in the playoffs because he wants a contract extension with the team that he gets traded to, I think that's really preventing the Dodgers from really going all in on Garrett Crochet, right? Now, with Jack Flaherty, it's a short-term rental. It's just going to be the rest of the season, so it's just going to be to have him as the Dodgers try to, win the World Series, just to have him in the playoffs, as the Dodgers really need starting pitching, so he could really fill a void in that sense. And just having, that LA background, the California background, he'd be basically coming home to his hometown, basically. Burbank is not too far away from LA, for those of you that are from LA. So it would be great to see Jack Flaherty find his way back to LA, and the Dodgers just kind of have to put up a pretty big package, and also, as we know, have competition from the Yankees and Red Sox. Make sure to subscribe to Dodgers Digest for more great Dodger content.